It's a wonderful evening from Monrovia, Liberia. And of course, I love to say a pleasant good evening and a warm welcome. You're watching Focus on Liberia. We're live from downtown Monrovia, where we've come to sample the views of Liberians about the recent position or statement coming from His Excellency the President, Dr. George Weah, regarding the recent July 26th protest in Monrovia, where the President has spoken. And we just thought to come out here to sample the views of Liberians regarding the President's statement. And so, just to read a few lines from the recent statement issued by His Excellency the President. And then we begin to engage the views of the public. And so just bear with me, let me just read one or two lines or paragraphs, if you will, from the recent statement released by His Excellency the President, Dr. George Weah. My fellow Liberians, the main purpose of my address today is to denounce in the strongest terms the violence which was perpetrated by some youth in the early hours of July 26, when Liberians at home and abroad were just preparing to celebrate such an important day for our country. Violence is totally unacceptable. I've stressed in all my public engagements the need to maintain the hard-earned peace that we now enjoy. This is the cause for which I have learned personal sacrifice as an ambassador of peace. So if you claim to love me or follow my political ideology, you cannot do so with violence. Those were some words coming from His Excellency the President, Dr. George Weah, folks. And so we thought to come out here today to speak to Liberians regarding the President's recent pronouncement on the July 26th violence in Monrovia. Well, the first gentleman is here. I'd love to say welcome you live on Focus on Liberia online television. How are you today? Please tell us the name.
Thank you very much. My name is Ahmed Toga, and I'm a proud seditious and a propagandist of the CDC regime.
Welcome. How are you today?
Yes, today I'm overwhelmed. I'm politically satisfied with the statement coming from the office of the President. My own position on the statement from the President, who happens to be the standard of my political institution, the domitable mighty Congress of Democratic Change, now coalition for democratic change. If you follow the statement from the President, it tells you how peaceful he is. It tells you how nationalistic the President is. And it is very timely. Let me be clear and sincere with the issue. It is timely. The President is very peaceful. It shows that he is a nationalist. And the statement also comes with passion. They come with love. They come with unity. The President said that if you read a statement, when you read a statement, your mind will reflect on harmony. Your mind will reflect on harmony. President Weah is the common people president. President Weah has no history with violence. In fact, the President, as the founding father of the CDC, has informed the world, the public, that we have no CDC COP within our political institution. From the foundation of the CDC, there have been no CDC COP within the CDC. In fact, the CDC COP, as far as concerned, it is now a legitimate CRA group within the CDC. It is just a political pressure group that sees reasons to support President Weah's agenda. And so on that note, let me condemn the violence act in the strongest term. I condemn that act. It was very barbaric. And if you read the President's statement, the President's decision, it brings about resolving the whole issue. You
think the President's response is timely?
Very timely, exceptionally timely, positively timely. The President is a peaceful president. The president has no history of violence. In fact, if you check the records of the CDC, we have been a victim of violence. Check the records. Reflect the mind on the 2011 general presidential elections. Oh, why should we Liberians forget about the November 7 bloody morning? We have been a victim. We have no history of political violence. So we are calling on the CDC COP. Why we encourage and we appreciate the president for ordering the arrest. I, as a propagandist of the regime, I, as a partisan of the indomitable mighty Congress of Democratic Change, I am also calling on the CDC COP to come out and apologize because there's a complete embarrassment of our political institution. Okay. You cannot be using our institution name, then you are involved in violence. Mind you, I also want to condemn Soup for their actions also. Because if we condemn it, we should condemn the both sides. We witnessed Soup assembling with stones and other harmful materials.
And so you think there's a need?
Not even issue permit. You think there's a
need to protect the peace as stressed before by the president, right?
Protecting the peace and stability of the state is very much paramount.
Okay.
That's the reason why the president came up with the release.
Thank you.
And the release shows unity, it shows harmony.
Thank you.
It shows peace. It shows that President Weah is the common people president.
Thank you.
And I can assure you, 2023, next year, President Weah will be re-elected by the Liberian people.
Thank you. Let's leave at that and see how it's going to play out.
Thank you very much.
In the final analysis, while we talking to scores of Liberians here following the recent pronouncement or statement released by His Excellency the President in relation to the July 26th protests in Monrovia. Before me is another gentleman. Welcome, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Well, it is a great pleasure being with you. My name is Musa S.B. Dore. Where I am satisfied, gratified, well energized today, regarding the President's statement and comments as it relates to the incident on July 26th. I feel that it is in the best interest of Liberia. It is in the best interest of our democratic.
You think it's timely?
The president's intervention is highly timely.
Okay.
So we commend him. For all we come from the background where when commendable things are done, we commend. When condemnable things are done, we condemn. So the last time we condemned, the action of the who be violent actors. But today we are commending the president for his timely intervention because we need peace in Liberia. And the president has shown to us that he's a man of peace. The president has shown to us that he has control over the state. So we want to commend him and we want to commend all the forces, all the civil society institutions, the police and the government of Liberia for their position taken in the interest of the state. So we want to tell the Liberian people that President Weah is in the best interest of the country and we want to commend him for his timely intervention. And we also want to condemn the CDC, COP, that they should immediately apologize for their action because their action was not in the best interest of our peace. And we want to ask all Liberians, all well-being Liberians to remain peaceful so that we can move this country forward. We are going to a critical period in Liberia. Liberia is at a crossroad. We're going to an election comes 2023. So we want for all Liberians to lay within the confines of the law. The foundation of democracy is justice. To go to election, a country must do it peaceful and stable. We don't want any anarchy. We don't need any what you call chaotic condition in Liberia. We experience the better past. So when we see those tendencies that suffered in the past, when we see the re-emergence, then we tend to gentle. So we want to commend President Weah for his immediate action, and we want to ensure that the Justice Ministry, the police, should effect the action, the order given by the President of Liberia, so that we can live in peace, so that we can live in harmony. Because we don't want what you call counter reaction, from those who were victimized. When the law is imposed, we live in peace. So we encourage all well-being Liberians to live in peace, to work with each other so that we can live in peace and harmony in this country.
Musa Dole, thank you very kindly.
Thank you very much.
And of course, you're watching Focus on Liberia online television. We're live from Kara Street, downtown Monrovia, where we've come to sample the views of Liberians regarding the recent statement issued by His Excellency the President, Dr. Weah. Let me just read one or two more lines for you, then we continue with the interaction here this evening. Therefore, I have mandated the Ministry of Justice and the entire national security apparatus to immediately arrest all those involved in the recent violent incident on July 26, 2022 and ensure that they face the full weight of the law. Those were the exact words of His Excellency the President, Dr. Weah. Another gentleman is here. Welcome. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you make of the President's pronouncement?
I think his pronouncement is holistic, calling upon the Ministry of Justice that all of those parties that were involved in the fight should be called for justice. And I think it's fair enough.
You think that's going to happen?
Oh, yes, I'm sure of it. But it is a two-way street, right? The statement from the president that have to do with him being the president of the country, which of course, in as much we should portray peace and tranquility in our country, that's fair and blunt enough. But then, CDC as a political institution, yes, we do not have CDC COP as an auxiliary of CDC, but we also have a political pressure group within CDC. So for that, I think that statement should come from the chairman but not from the president. By condemning COP not to be an attached to CDC. COP, CDC, it is a political pressure group. It is not an auxiliary of the political party, but it's a political pressure group. So I think that the chairman will make a statement on that, and then we'll come out with a stand on it.
Let me ask you this question, Ishmael. Why would the president mandate the Ministry of Justice? Why would the Justice Ministry wait for the president to mandate before moving to take some action?
In my mind, I think it's not a statement from the president will make the Ministry of Justice to be very proactive. They have been. I'm also informed now that the IG, which is the police IG, order an arrest for all of those police officers that were on scene. That they will be investigated through the justice, the police investigating department. Yeah, they'll be carried there for investigation, and then at certain point in time they'll be taken to the police.
You mean the professional standard division?
The statement from the president will reawaken, will empower or will enforce the police action. But for you to say now that it is because of the statement from the president, that's why I make police a big problem. No, police have been, and I'm very sure that they'll be very proactive until they can come to the conclusion of this.
Somebody could be sitting somewhere wondering by this time, Ishmael, it has taken a week and the president has just released a statement. Don't you think it's belated?
Yeah, I think I told you the last time, right? When incident occur, people try to articulate the issues to know the crumbs of it, right? People try to know the dynamics of the issue, not to just jump into it, but rather carry on your own independent investigation. I want to believe that is what the president was doing. So at this time, it is timely, and then Liberians are also celebrating the statement.
So you think we'll start to see some arrests now?
Sorry?
You think we'll start to see some arrests now?
Yeah, sure. I'm very sure of that because I'm also informed that those who are involved in the violent act, the police are also investigating them, the police are currently investigating them, so they are in and out in charge of the police.
Thank you, Ishmael.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you on our network this wonderful evening. Let me talk to Achi Pompon. Pompon is here. I haven't seen Pompon for a while. Welcome, Achi Pompon. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
His Excellency the President, Dr. Weah, has spoken. What do you make of the statement coming from the President?
The President is a generous man. He's a godsend. Speaking to you today is the President's good work. Now, we shouldn't miss the presidency with the governance of the state. With him, everybody has felt him in his passion for this nation. The state has got a responsibility to protect its citizens as well as foreign nationals. And so, as we speak here today, it is the president that was able to help me get saved. The state play her role by making sure that everything on the salary. So when the president speaks, it means a whole lot, and it was injustice that the president said a word to the government. Because the government in itself must be able to act, and not the president are showing the kind of a remorse in his dealing with the issue of scammages and other situations involving counter protesting. Then one man comes to mind, and that man is 1997. He said he'll bring Banga. He saw the danger in Banga. And Dr. Famula said he will go to Banga with armed bodyguard. And he went to Banga, and Dr. Famula said,
where are you driving?
Any attempt, it will be scammages, but there will be casualty on both
Where are you
sides.
driving, Achipopon? Where are you driving?
What we are driving out is that since October 1971, it has been the issue of soup and the issue of engagement. And the issue of engagement, Soup no follow well that she was walking into a situation of in 1997, imagining a Dr. Famula going to Gonga. He was fully aware that in any attempt, there will be attempt and there will be skirmishes on both sides. Soup should have had a plan B. They should have had a plan B. But the whole situation in a political era like this must be condemnable on both sides to the effect that our Achipopon standing here will tell you, when you are engaging a system, you must know that a system will come back at you too. Be free. This is the political situations now. The system will come at you. And when the system comes at you, you either look like Achipopon or you look at where you want to be. Because the system will come back. And so, we condemn the action.
Okay.
But these are the beauty of democracy, and the combination all around should fit on both sides, because both sides should respect the argument and the civility of the political process.
So you don't think that the president's position is belated now? You don't think it's belated? You don't think it's belated?
The president and the presidency must not be emerged with the governance of the state. And if the president has spoken, it still has not negated that the state has to prosecute and take actions. It doesn't negate the fact, but the president will be remorseful. And I don't want to believe he wants to obstruct justice. I don't want to believe he wants to be a single father when a situation is a twist evil. And the president has spoken, and I know the state will act.
Okay, Achi.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very kindly. It's Achipopon joining us this wonderful evening. You're still watching Focus on Liberia online television with me, T. Williams. We're live from Central Monrovia. And of course, we've come to speak to Liberians regarding the statement just released by His Excellency the President, Dr. Weah, regarding the recent July 26th violence. Let's talk to another gentleman. You're welcome. How are you today? Tell us the name.
Yeah, my name is Robert Political Slada, member of the Center for the
Tell us what do you make of the president's statement condemning violence in the strongest term?
Firstly, I'm not too surprised of the statement.
You're not surprised?
I'm not too surprised.
What do you mean when you're not surprised?
Because this president has won many peace. This president served as UN Goodwill Ambassador. They may serve as peace ambassador in the country on slave. Even in the time when partisans of the CDC were killed, the partisans of the CDC have been beaten by some reactionary forces of the OOS. This president was flagging flare of Liberia, preaching peace, 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 peace. Even though 2005, when the president and the government they started for CDC Congress, they did the elections, this president ran peace, peace, peace. So today, for the president to speak peace, I'm not surprised. I'm only happy I sat there because our president, our peaceful president, has shown to the world that yes, indeed, for all the myths he has been hearing and listening by the purported and all other opposition who do not have direction.
Why do you think the president waited so long before speaking today?
The president
You know, the presidency is a council, huge responsibility. We just for celebrating our independence. For me, my man, I think the president was waiting for the appropriate time, and this time is the appropriate time. His people are the appropriate time.
And so you think the statement is not belated?
He said the president's speech is not belated. Who determined when the president is supposed to issue a certain time? The statement is not belated because, mind you, whenever the president of any nation speaks, it's a policy statement. So this president must analyze, this president must color fast, this president must be timely whenever he comes on the speech. So I think it was a rebel time and I'm appreciating it.
Let me ask you one final question before I let you go. Now that the president has spoken, you think there will be some arrest made?
Firstly, before the president came on to speak, there was people who have been called to go and were invited. I've already spent a quote-unquote citizen COP. Some of them have been going, they have been going to the different occasions, but I yet to see our friend and brother. But firstly, let me condemn the act of stronger thing. Brother, the guy who was seen massively flogged, dragged in the streets in that video, he is my own ally, friend, and other things. To see, apart from him being my ally and friend, he is one of us, one of you.
Okay.
In part of the student community,
thank you.
He's a young man like me, so we condemn that. But first and foremost, I appreciate it. I appreciate the president 100 million times. That clearly tells you that the government has distanced itself, our party has distanced itself. There's nothing about the COP. Our party, these guys are seeing guys that were used by every poster, that were used by the opposition community. We want to testimony to the issue. The testimony to the issue. When tires in the hospital,
thank you.
Kill people. So our president has spoken, and this statement has gone worldwide. And thank the Washington for inviting our president to the United States. Thank you very much.
Thank you very kindly. The voice of a Liberian there, speaking with Focus on Liberia online television. Let me talk to another gentleman who's just joining us. Welcome. Tell us your name and how are you today?
Thank you. My name is Gabriel King, and I'm a member of CO. The first thing, we speak of the president. For me, the first time in history, for the time the president became president in 2018, and the first time he speak the president, because what happened they gone 26 days, there is no way that any other person or security or whosoever can deny it. I'm always telling people there is the money war. Anything you do, camera will be there. Anything that happens, especially in front of the U.S. Embassy. But today, we heard the president speaking. The president said that everybody that took part in the violence should be prosecuted. He mandated the justice minister. And let me tell the president also, those that went on the street to disturb other peaceful people by standing for their arrest, they not just go there by themselves. They went there, 2 people. Like he said that he recognized CDC COP. CDC COP, that well-recognized registered group within our country.
So you think the president is aware of the existence of the CDC COP? Oh
yes, the government. They got an article in corporation, they got document. They even work as Senate mayor they have. Then he said, you recognize them? No, he got to do something more. He had to do something more. What happened? It was not easy in the country. But let me admit, for his speech today, he spoke the president, the whole country listened to him. Okay. I think some of us are disenchanted. We are down here until we look after Mark. That's all I have to say for the evening.
Thank you very kindly. Well, thank you very kindly. On Liberian there, here comes another gentleman. Welcome, how are you today? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
What do you make of the president's statement condemning the violence in the strongest term?
Firstly, by introduction, I'm Alfred Momokamaka. The statement made by President Weah, in my mind, is the most insincere statement ever made by any president on planet Earth.
Did I hear you say insincere?
Insincere.
What do you mean?
The statement made by President Weah is the most insincere statement ever made by any president on the planet Earth. President Obon is aware of the CDC.
You think he's aware?
He's aware of the existence in the country. He's aware of the existence in the CDC, and he's also aware that some of them, their leaders even work at the executive marshal. They work at all the governmental agencies. They work with state corporation. Some of them are signed with coaching. They are watching. He are aware of this thing. So in my mind, what you're trying to cleverly do is this. You know, he is to travel to America. He was being invited by Washington.
Okay.
And because of that, if that's just for me as a dark cloud over him, and he arrived in America, it will not be fun for him. So he's trying to punish in a way where he will be seen as a good person. That is what he's trying to do. But look, let me say this, beyond all this, Mr. Obon does not mean well for this country. Mr. Obon has done the worst thing to humankind in this country than any other president. You see, let me go to Amos Sawyer filling up at his UL campus. Our president with coaching order the CDC to beat the very military. On that day, most of them sustain injury. Some military sustain injury. What happened? Nothing about all of it. And as I said before on your platform, and I challenge President Obon, the Justice Minister, the Director of Police, to distinct themselves on this. When they had meeting prior to the incident at the embassy, when they had meeting that look, the police station environment should not be used to engage protesters because it will create bad image on the government. You know, as we have been here, the police, all the protests apart from June 7th.
Those are all allegations, Commander.
All the protests are being chaotic.
Those are all allegations.
All the protests are being aggressive protests. And the police are, the guys who killed, the police guys that killed the truck driver, when the family member went to center to protest, the police beat them.
You said there was a meeting held?
Yes, there was a meeting here. The president, the Justice Minister, all of them invited the police director to use CDC, sedition of whatsoever nomenclature they find themselves to engage protesters at all.
Let me ask you this question. Kroman. Do you think the president is interfering with justice as he has mandated his justice minister or law enforcement arm to pursue this matter?
Again, my brother, don't give credence to that. As I said, Mr. Obama is not serious to empower justice. This man doesn't believe in justice. Look, let's go to the record. A certain choice. There was a case between the government of Liberia and Costa. When the government of Liberia closed down Costa station, Costa went to court. The court ruled that the station should be reopened and all materials should be taken over. Justice Minister said, over there, day by day, they will never open the Costa station. So why they just say protected? And they did not open Costa station. They did not get Costa material back. Beyond that, Yaka Konaba, he won the case against the legislature to pay money. They refused. Besides that, the Justice Minister, the Secretary General of the then Secretary General Mahadi, when you are arrested by the police, the Justice Minister ordered that the men should be released unconditionally. The Director of Police, that year, they did not release the men. So what they just say, are they protected?
And so, in short, you think the president's statement is belated?
The president's statement is belated. He is insincere. He doesn't mean well for this country. And as such, I'm using the platform to call on the Liberian people. If they want to see a better Liberia tomorrow, after 2023, they should vote against Obon. Any attempt to vote for Obon and make president, Liberia will be destroyed to the global level. God, Liberia will live on the soil level, or will be killed. Obon is a dictator. He's a killer. He doesn't move well for this country.
Thank you.
He's looting the entire government. All the money finished.
Thank you, Alfred Kroma.
He is a police officer. They are all criminals.
Alfred Kroma, thank you. Let me hold you at that. Thank you very kindly. You're watching Focus on Liberia online television. We're live from Carey Street, downtown Monrovia, where we've come to sample the views of Liberians about the president's recent statement issued condemning the July 26 violence in our country. And of course, we hear from our Liberians as they come out here to speak with our Focus on Liberia. And so just stay with us, don't go away as we interact with the guys here on Carey Street in Monrovia. My name is Theo Williams, and of course we are live. Focus on Liberia online television. We elevate, educate, and promote all things Liberia, folks. His Excellency the President, Dr. Weah, has spoken, and so we are asking Liberians, why do they make up the President's pronouncement condemning the recent violence in our country, and in fact instructing the Ministry of Justice to arrest all those involved and that they should face the full weight of the law. So Liberians are out here today speaking their minds. So we're just here to solicit the views of our Liberians. And so from just wherever you are joining us, whatever you're doing, the pleasure is mine to say good evening and welcome to Focus on Liberia online television. And of course we are live from Carey Street, downtown Monrovia. Here comes another young gentleman. Welcome, how are you today?
I'm 100% fun.
What's the name, sir?
By the way of introduction, I'm Abubakar Jallo, the Chief Executive Officer of Youth Organized for the Promotion of Intellectual Activity in Libya.
Jallo, what do you make of the President's pronouncement minutes ago?
I think that that was a ragamuffin statement that was made by the President.
You said it was what?
That was a ragamuffin statement, meaning that that was a bad statement made by the President. What do I mean? If you understand the attributes of a good leader, one, there are so many attributes that classify you to be a good leader. One, a good leader does not treat people unfairly. President John Manuel Weah, if you just understand the word liberty, I don't know as to whether President John Manuel Weah understands the definition of the word liberty. Because if President John Manuel Weah has the leadership ability, if we have done what he do.
What is liberty?
Yeah. So I believe that President John Manuel Weah was not right at making sure he was statement as a leader or as the one who people believe in to be our leader to serve this our country.
What did you expect from the president?
From my knowledge, I suspected President John Manuel Weah like he should have said or those guys should be caught on board for further investigation. But even if you are calling those guys for freedom of investigation, if you understand Article 21, Section C, it is a right to a suspect. It is a right to a criminal. So those guys shouldn't have been beaten. One of a friend of mine, he was beaten unmercifully. So by President John Manuel Weah making that statement, it was wrong. It was wrong. I believe that President John Manuel Weah is not a real person for the country, and I still say this because if you understand President John Manuel Weah's inaugural speech, in first day was said that this place is a land of liberty, and the word liberty means freedom. It is your right to freedom of speech, it is a right to freedom of movement according to Article 11, Section C of the Liberian Constitution provides. Then why should the president be the man of not having thought? Why should a president be a man of not having the leadership ability? The one leadership is the ability to lead. So thank you ever so much once again.
Let me ask you one final question. Mandating the Ministry of Justice to arrest and prosecute all those involved with the recent violence in Monrovia on July 26th. Are you telling me it's not in the right direction?
I believe that is not in the rebel direction. I believe that before those people went into the street, they were authorized. Because first of all, those guys have article of incorporation.
Who authorized them to think?
I do believe that they were authorized by some of our government officials. Me, I'm not from any political angle. I'm a neutral person of the Youth Organized for the Promotion of Intellectual Activity organization. I'm not from any political angle. I'm not standing here today in support of CPB, nor in support of CDC. I'm speaking today as a Liberian because Liberia is a property that belongs to everyone. So to not all unite to see our Bella or Konje Biwa, a peaceful country.
Thank you very kindly. And of course, you are still watching Focus on Liberia online television. We're live from Monrovia. We just thought to come out here to speak to Liberians. I'm sure Abdul kind of wants to chip in. Abdul is a well-known seditian. I'm sure Abdul wants to chip in. But you're still watching Focus on Liberia Online Television with me, Theo Williams. From just wherever you are joining us, whatever you're doing, the pleasure is mine to say welcome. We'll be winding down very shortly. We just thought to come out here to engage the views of Liberians now that the President, His Excellency Dr. Weah, has spoken. We've come to hear from Liberians, folks. And so, from just wherever you are joining us, whatever you're doing, I'd love to say welcome. Let's talk to this young comer as well. Welcome, how are you?
I'm George Tangwa from
Welcome, how are you today?
I'm okay.
Well, I'm good as well. His Excellency Dr. Weah has spoken. I'm sure you followed the statement. I'm sure you read the statement as well. What do you make of the statement? You think it's welcoming? You think it's in the right direction? You think it's timely?
I think it was a rightful thing that President George Weah said, because it stands for peace. Yeah, we all know that peace is what we as a Liberians stand for, and the President stands for peace. He said a few minutes ago, he said those that have been involved within the protest will be sent to court to face the full word of the law. So the reason why he said that was to make other people know that he's not separating the COP without from the Student Unification Party. He is telling the Liberian people that everyone are going to face the full word of the law. So nothing in our statement shows that he's trying to for the other person to look famous, to look happy, or to look dangerous. Yeah. So everyone that is involved in the protest, President Weah made it clear to say that you guys will face the full weight of the law, and you guys will be paying the last civil court. Yeah. So once again, I want to say thank you.
Thank you very kindly. A young Liberian there reacting to the President's statement recently released. Let's talk to this person. Perhaps this will be the final person who will speak. Welcome, how are you today?
I'm good. First of all, by the way, I'm in Georgia, student University of Liberia.
Dolly, welcome.
Yeah.
What do you make of the President's statement on today?
Well, let me say I commend the President for the timely statement, because you know the violence occurred is about Liberians and not about political party.
Okay.
So I highly appreciate the President, and the statement was timely. It was the rightful time, and the investigation on the order he gave to the Justice Ministry, the arrest of those who partake in our violence should be arrested. They should go bear the full weight of the law. So let me say I commend the President for that press today.
Thank you so much. Well, we want to leave it at this point. It's been a wonderful time here interacting with Liberians about the President's recent pronouncement in line with the violence on July 26th, Liberia's Independence Day. So we'd like to say thanks to all of you who've been watching. Thanks to our hard-working CEO, Mr. Dennis Jah, who is in Atlanta, Georgia, the U.S. Thanks to Head of Operations, Anthony C., and all those who made this possible. Thanks as well to the entire Focus on Liberia crew across the world. My name is Theo Williams. And so, before I wrap up, Let me just read you this final line in the president's statement that was released minutes ago. It says, I have stressed the need in all my public engagements, the need to maintain the higher-end peace that we now enjoy. This is a cause for which I have learned personal sacrifice as a peace ambassador. So if you claim to love me or follow my political ideology, you cannot do so with violence. Anyone or group that has my image on a banner or support of me and my government has to be peaceful, respectful, and tolerant. You cannot support the man of peace by being violent. I also want to stress, as the founding father of the Congress for Democratic Change, now the Coalition for Democratic Change, that we do not have any CDC COP within our organization. When you come to join us, you become the CDC partisan of peace, democracy, and development. Well, folks, on that note, I'd love to leave you at this point. Thanks again. His Excellency the President has spoken. You listen to Liberians react to the President's pronouncement in relation to the recent violence on July 26th in Monrovia, just before the U.S. Embassy. And so thanks to all of you who's been watching. It's been a wonderful time. For and on behalf of the team, my name is Theo Williams. Thanking you ever so much. Goodbye from Monrovia.